Hey everybody, Robert Parker Jr. here. Just thought I'd hop on and go over my rig that I've been really loving this year. It's changed a lot, as it always does, but my needs continue to change, so here we are. I'll start off with my guitar. This is my trusty Partscaster. This started its life as a Chicago Music Exchange exclusive shell pink player series Stratocaster, and it's gotten a lot of changes over the years. I've got this Warmouth neck on it. It's roasted flame maple, rosewood fretboard, stainless steel jumbo frets, hip shot tuners, locking tuners, staggered as well, and I've got a fresh set of 13 to 58s on here right now, and I'm in E flat. I'm also plugged into my two Pro Juniors. I'll give you a shot of what those look like. I've got them mic'd up with a couple of Beta 57s. One has an Alnico cream in it. That is the one that's set a lot brighter because it's a lot darker than the other speaker, and the other speaker is a ceramic Creamback. The Alnico is 90 watts, the Creamback is 75 watts. This is just like the perfect... I can show up to any gig with these two amps and not have to worry about being too loud. If it's a small room, I'll just play through the ceramic Creamback, just because that one really cuts through the mix. And if I want to feel a little bigger, I'll incorporate the second one with the Alnico speaker. This is what I toured with this summer, and it's great. It's perfect volume. You know, if I can't tour with my Bassman just because it takes up so much space. And this is what it sounds like dry right now. Here's the neck pickup. Volume on 8. Bridge. And yeah, I'll actually go through a couple more specs on the Strat that I skipped over, that I forgot to mention. I've got Yosemite pickups in here. The bridge pickup does have a Lindy Fralin base plate wired to the bottom of it. I strictly use RS Guitar Works wiring harnesses. This is the modern Strat wiring harness. I've got a hip shot bridge as well with the machine breast tone block. My trusty Stratoblaster right here, and this thing's just awesome. Here's neck pickup, no Stratoblaster, kicking it on. This is really handy, especially in the studio. It's got a little bit of compression on it. I've got it set to the minimum 3 dB boost on it. And that's dry with no effects. I'll give you a shot of my pedal board right now as well. The two always on pedals are my Topanga Spring Reverb and my Xotic EP Booster. Just very versatile pedals. If you haven't tried out either one of these, it took me years to finally try the EP Booster after knowing about them for so long, and I love this thing. I've got it set on the bright setting if you access the dip switches underneath the hood, and my other not so secret is both the Topanga and the EP Booster are running at 18 volts. So here's how it sounds with the Topanga. Throwing the EP Booster on. And that's those are my two always on, so that's like that's home for me. Typically I'll start a gig you know, rhythm around 6.5 or 7.5 on the as well, if I'm going for a clean tone, I'll more than likely throw the Strat Blaster on just to give me a little compression, I guess. Normally not the biggest fan of compression, but I'm not offended by the kind of compression that the Strat Blaster gives me. Off again. On. So that's a great place to be. Next up in the chain, well, it actually goes from left to right. I've got Topanga, then the Tidewater, then the EP, because I want both the reverb and the tremolo to act as if it's coming from the amp. Now that I strictly play Tweed style amps, they don't have those on board. So here is a little bit of the Tidewater, just for a little bit of movement. Great pedal. I just got that one this week, and I'm loving it. I initially played a Flint for a long time, but just wanted to get away from... I wasn't necessarily entirely satisfied with the spring style reverb on the Flint, and I've just been over the moon playing the Topanga. It really just gives me that kind of Freddie King reverb on it. Love it. Moving on, I've got the Mad Professor Deep Blue delay. This is actually the oldest pedal that I have on this board. Had it for maybe close to 10 years and it's still kicking. In the studio, I'll, mess with the knobs depending on, what the job needs. However, live, I basically just use it as a pseudo boost, kind of Matt Schofield style slapback. So say I'm playing on the bridge. And I'll kick on the Deep Blue. And it just gives me that little kind of thing. It's really cool too if I just want a part to stick out. Like we've got a song in Gen Set with Jennifer Foster and The Audacity where we go to this kind of riff part in this song, and it goes a little something like this, coming from the I don't want to call it the bridge, but let's just call it the bridge. Something like that. I'll show you what it sounds like with no reverb, just so it's a little more prominent. I know the mics will probably do a better job of picking up the delay, but here's how it sounds just without the reverb. Just a slight little slapback. It's honestly set almost identical to how Schofield sets it. So I really love that one. I've had it for a long time, and I don't see it leaving anytime soon. Up next, I've got this newer to me Ultraphonix Mark II, and as a guy who really struggles to find an overdrive pedal that I like, I really love this thing. I've got it set right now. So the second like mini master volume I don't use, I leave it off, so it's almost like a stock Mark I Ultraphonix. And both the ratio and the master are set at like 11 o'clock, and the filter or the tone knob is maxed out. So here's how that sounds. Turn it off one more time. It's just great. Another tune from Gen Set called Meet Me on the Other Side, and you know, I'd say 90% of that gig I'm playing clean just with the EP Booster and maybe the Strat Blaster. But on this song, requires a little bit more grit, and it goes a little something like this. Something like that. Up next, I've got my Mythos Argonaut. I love this pedal. It's their take on a green ringer. I've tried a number of octave pedals over the years. I started off, my first one ever was the EHX Octavix, which on a budget, that thing is also great. This Argonaut isn't even that expensive either. I think it's like $120. And it's just got that kind of more retro thing. Some of the other ones I've tried are a little cleaner, a little more tame or predictable, but this has that kind of retro feel to it, especially if you're playing it clean. It won't have the most sustain on it, so I've got my neck pickup, tone, and volume at about 7.5. And it's got that thing. It's really cool. I've also got the deep blue on right now. Typically, if I'm playing the Argonaut, that's more than likely going to be on. And here's how it sounds with the Ultraphonix as well. You can kind of chord with it. It's just really cool. Alternatively, here's how it sounds with the EP Booster and the Strat Blaster if I want something a little cleaner. Not a million miles away, but it is different, especially in the room. And then last but not least, I've got my Xotic Wah. This is my second one. My last one I had for about 7 years. And I don't really know what happened to it, but it wasn't a battery issue. But anytime I'd click it on, there was just a volume drop, and I couldn't figure it out, so I let it go, and I just got another one. And I love this thing. And again, that's the only pedal I have on the board, running on a battery. I am powering all of this with the one-spot CS6. I know everyone looks at my board and they assume I have the CS7, but it's the 6. And here's how this sounds. Forgive me, because I actually hate wahing while sitting down. But here's how it is. turn the deep blue off and turn the Ultraphonix on. Here's how that sounds. Bringing the tone on the neck pickup back up to 10. Just does that thing great. Let me turn this off with my hand. And that's about it. Little not much of a tangent, but I just recently put this back together. I've been playing my thin line hardtail Warmouth Strat that I've been loving so much for the past year. I have a roasted maple board on that, and you know, this has just been sitting in the corner for the past year. Just the body, like this whole thing was disassembled, because after I got used to playing that thin line, everything else just felt way too heavy for me. And then I got hooked up with cable-free guitars and their you know, zero gravity strap, and I didn't feel too much of a difference at first comparing it to my normal leather strap. But we got into the studio one day, and I had just thrown my back out the night prior, stretching of all activities, and like not even 5 minutes in, my back was just killing me, so I brought that with me and tried it on, and that's when I really felt the difference. It's not necessarily that it felt a lot lighter, but the weight distribution made the world of difference. So those are truly worth checking out. It's not all hype. So much to the point that it inspired me to put this guitar back together. And now that I've been playing this one again, it reminded me how much I prefer solid body. Maybe at least for my gig. For Jen's gig with the Audacity, playing a lot cleaner. I think the thin line shines a little more in that band. But yeah, otherwise, another thing I'll mention, as I said before, I've got 13 to 58s on here right now. Let me see if I can get that away from the glare. JHS, these are boomers. It goes 13, 16, 19, 28, 38, 58. Absolutely love these, especially that I play in E flat. Just feels good under the fingers. And alternatively, if I know I have a long day, say I've got a full day in the studio, or if I know I'm playing a double or sometimes a triple as a full-time musician, you just never know when the work's coming around, so you want to take as many gigs as you can. But in those days, I'll put these on instead. These are the Big Core Nickel Rockers, 11.5 to 56. They're great. They're a little softer, given that they're nickel, so they're not going to be as bright as the boomers. But I'm not, you know, chasing any kind of tone like that in my strings, so I don't mind going back and forth. If anything, I haven't inquired, and I might now that I'm making this video, if they can make my custom set in the big cores, because these are great. I'm also this year trying to get my attack under control. I've developed a bad habit over the years of just being really ham-handed with my right hand, and therein I can't seem to go a second gig without having to like if I try to play the same set of strings on the second gig, I'm bound to break a string. So trying to get away from that. I don't, like I said, I'm not trying to go for tone by changing strings every show. It's just a matter of I don't want to break a string on a gig, so swapping them out every gig helps me make sure that doesn't happen, and it hasn't happened. But I'm trying to adjust my attack, and therein hopefully I can, you know, minimize my string budget. everything I need at the moment. I've ventured into studio work this year, and I've been loving it. So if anyone's in the Austin or the Central Texas area and they think I might be a fit for their record, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to work with you. And that's about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Thank you guys again. I feel like I mention this every video I post, but I'm trying to get in more of a swing of putting content out there. It's a lot easier for me to upload shorts, as it's just as simple as uploading a video I already put on my Instagram, which is a perfect plug right now for my Instagram page. Go ahead and follow me at Robert Parker Jr. ATX. And I don't know, I think that's all I need to cover right now. The only thing going into next year that I anticipate changing is I'm craving telly at the moment, so I'm gonna wait a little bit for some funds to trickle back into my life, and then I do plan on building another Warmoth guitar. Similar appointments. I do want it in shell pink to match this beauty right here. This one's name is Shelly, by the way. Very on the nose. I don't even know. This might be bleached out on the camera because I'm sitting right in front of the window right now. But yeah, I want a roasted ash telly, double bound, flame maple, rosewood neck, mini humbucker, regular bridge, 330K volume pot, 550K tone pot. This is really nerdy stuff we're getting into. And phase switch for the out of phase stuff in the middle. And that's about it. It's just not that this rig and this guitar for that matter can do anything I want it to. It's more so, especially in the studio, wanting to have a little bit more variety, and of course everyone knows Telecasters are kind of like the Swiss Army knife in that department, as well as it's finding my own sound. I've really embraced the blues, as everybody knows, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But I've gotten very real with myself and wondered, because I do dance on that line of blues and blues rock. I love Creamback, Clapton, and Hendrix, and all that good stuff. But different stuff comes out when I write organically versus I have too many soft tunes, so I need to write like a blues rock tune. When stuff just comes out, it's a little, I don't want to say incredibly soft, but it's, I'm finding my sound and my voice. So I'm going to welcome a telly with open arms very soon. But I think that's about it. Thank you guys again for sticking around, chiming in, and hope to see you at the next show. Cheers, everybody.